as a married person, the words you hate to say is, I was wrong. Kristen was wrong. She knew it. But there's growth here.
There is growth here. So my husband labeled it a dressing down. I labeled it giving me the what for.
That's such a Southern statement, isn't it?
He gave me the what for.
What for.
Yeah. And what I mean by that is my husband was upset. He needed to express himself. He expressed himself. And instead of getting defensive, instead of giving him the silent treatment, instead of trying to talk my way out of it, and instead of trying to like gaslight him or make it feel like it's his fault, I took it like a woman. I took my dressing down and I took my what for like a woman because he was right.
You womaned up.
I did. Now, what had happened was, y'all might remember I told you I had a little gathering at my house, but the little gathering kind of snowballed into a larger gathering because I found really cute Easter decorations at Home Goods, and the party had to be bigger. Sorry, not sorry. So I invited people over to the house. So it's Bert and his girlfriend Amanda and her son. It's Cassie and Chad and their kids. Abby came over because she was not going to be spending Easter with the family. I had neighbors that came over. I had another friend that I reached out last minute saying, hey, if you guys are free, come over with your kids. So we just kind of ballooned into a much larger Easter brunch. And with that comes prepping the home for company, right? I am like most A-type women, when you're going to have company over, the house has to be pristine. At least the part that everybody's going to see, right? So you're you're removing all the clutter from all the surfaces, and you're vacuuming up the dog hair, and you're just making sure you're lighting the candles. I do a whole spread as far as like Bart's got to get the microwave off the counter, so I have room for the beverage station, and I have to have all the matching ceramics for the food. There's got to be fresh flowers everywhere. The patio had to have been. I needed the patio to be. What's that thing?
Power washed?
Not power washed, but he did take a hose to it, even though that wasn't necessary.
Like leaf blower?
Yes, yes, to get all that pollen and stuff off. So there was a laundry list of things that needed to be done before company got here. So it was Saturday morning, 8 o'clock. I had set my alarm, but I had hit snooze. So now 8:15, I'm rolling out of bed to get downstairs and start pulling my weight to get the house ready. But before I could get down there, my husband had come up the stairs, and we meet in the hallway. And I could tell by looking at him, my man's not happy.
Oh, no.
All right, because he had been up with Jimmy. And it was just like a verbal vomit of emotion of how I needed to get my butt in gear. This was my idea. I had put all this unnecessary pressure on us. And, he's been up with Jimmy, and we have a ton of stuff to do in just a few hours before everybody gets here. And if I am going to schedule these things, then I need to be prepared to put in the work to get the house ready, blah, 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 blah. And I just stood there. And I let him vent. I let him get it all out, right? And I just gave him a head nod, and I said, got it. And then I went downstairs, and I got to work. There was no back and forth, because I knew in that moment he was 100% right. And this is something that I do. I get these grandiose plans, and I want, I go over the top and with my little details because, if I wasn't in radio, I'd be a party planner. So I get that about my personality, and I know it puts stress on him when I do stuff like that. So he was feeling the stress, and he needed to de-stress. I didn't take it personal. Mm-hmm. I sincerely, in that moment, old Kristen would have totally taken it personal. But in that moment, I was like, no, man, this is on me, and I can see that I've caused him a lot of stress. So I'm going to go down there. I'm going to get my butt to work, and I'm going to pull my weight and get this house pulled together. And
He must have been so confused.
Who is this?
This is an amazing ad for Lexapro. If you are not endorsing them now, you will.
right, because before I would have been like so hurt, you know what I mean? And like taking it so personal and, gotten so defensive. Like, I'm creating memories for our child and making, moments for us to have gather our friends, blah, 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 blah. And you should have done better plan. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I would have turned it back on him, but I didn't. Like, I ate it. Like, I ate it in that moment because I knew that I was in the wrong. So I go downstairs. I put my nose. We're getting stuff done. I get those quiches made, baby. I get the.
That was some good quiche too.
Thank you. I love that recipe. I'll share it later. And I get he gets the patio done, and I get the patio decorated, and I get all the stuff set up for the Easter egg dot. And we're just, man, we are a well-oiled machine, and we are getting stuff done. And people, I even texted everybody to give us an extra 30 minutes. Because we were running behind. So I bought us another 30 minutes of time, and then the party happens, and we all have, a good time. And my husband was no worse for wear. And it was after everybody left. And I'm sitting on the patio with my glass of rosé, with my feet propped up. Jimmy's taking a nap. And my husband comes out, and I could see the look on his face. And he was like, "Hey, about earlier." And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "I really appreciate you stepping up. That meant a lot."
Come on now.
Like, he acknowledged that he came to me, and he, because you should be able to express yourself to your partner, right? And it wasn't like he was screaming at me or yelling at me. The man was frustrated, right? And he wanted to express himself. And I let him get everything off his chest. And instead of getting defensive and fighting back, I was just like, "All right." Mm-hmm. And he goes, "And you took it, and you came downstairs, and you got to work, and he goes, I just wanted to say thank you."
Whoa.
And then we had a nice little moment. This man started massaging my feet.
Whoa.
Heck yeah. Whoa.
And then, that was it.
That was it?
I was
Okay.
It ends right there, man.
It ends there, y'all.
The Bert Show.